Hi, everybody. For those of you who are going to see this on YouTube after I share it from my Facebook page, this is originally a Facebook Live. I am going to go over some key points about Gannon, and then I will also answer some questions off of the live feed. And what I'll do for the YouTube viewers is I'll just read the question out loud, okay? Hi, everybody. So, it just so happens, I'm hoping that this is my last video about Gannon, and it's kind of a funny feeling, actually, bittersweet in a way, and I really truly believe that this is the last video. Hi. So let's get right to it, because you know, I have fun-filled days ahead with minions and nothing to do. So let's see. There hasn't been too much really to fill in since the last update. The witness list has come out. Gannon's body has not been located as of yet. I can't remember if, was she arrested by that time, the last time I did the video? I can't remember. Anyway, let's keep moving. So, I feel like Gannon's body is somewhere that has been searched, and maybe not directly on top of it, but very, very near it. And I really think that they have a very, very good idea of where he is. That being said, I know a lot of you contact me and ask questions about where you can keep your eyes peeled for areas that you can look for. And I think it's important to remember that each of you are well equipped with your own apparatus that works in your own way. So instead of using what you may hear from myself or another medium or another intuitive as a rule and a measurement, use it as a, you know, maybe a guideline, okay? Not necessarily an outline type thing, all right? So when you're out and about, pay attention to your own gut feelings, okay? That's the best advice I can give you, all right? I feel like I have a lot of anxiety, so there must be a lot of nervous energy here right now. Oh. Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. Oh, thank you. They said they love my hair. I'm going to share this with the YouTube audience as well, but they don't get to experience the live part, so I must sound like a blubbering idiot at some points. As you all may not know or may know, today, actually right this very minute, because I'm looking at the date on the laptop, is my brother's anniversary. And as with many other things in this case, for some reason, and I don't know if it's because we work well together or there's other reasons, I'm sure there's some biblical inferences with the number 33 as well, but he's everywhere. Timestamps, just, it's constant, and I won't, you know, keep going over it. However, and there's other connections as well. The day that Gannon went missing is my cousin's birthday. His mother, whom I spent every weekend with, and who had died the year prior to my cousin, her nickname was Buggy. And if you guys don't remember, there was one of the lives that I kept saying, I'm like, what is the nickname? I keep hearing a nickname, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Well, I saw a post in one of the groups with them referring to Lena as Buggy, and I said, that's crazy. Because that's what they called my aunt. Well, my aunt Nadine called my aunt Buggy. Okay. And what I'm trying to get at is tomorrow's the 17th. Today's the 17th, which is his anniversary. And one of the dates that stuck out, you know, prior to what I'm telling you now, however, It was also prior to the divorce being announced. So a lot of these dates that I've been picking up, many of them are blips in the case, and not necessarily that big spike that we're looking for. The other thing that I keep hearing tonight is Saturday, something like that. So it makes me think Saturday. So I'm not putting my finger there and saying that's the day either. However, it's again one of those blips. All right. Let's see. Gannon said to tell his mommy that he sings with her still. And to tell her how pretty she is. Well, just kidding. And again, I don't have too much here. So if you guys have questions specific to the case itself, I'll answer those. I don't think I've done that in a live before. And I won't take too much time doing that either. So if you do have questions, and I don't know if this feed's keeping up, so I'm going to pick it up on the cell phone. Let me see if there's anything. And the Petco trip. I am telling you that there is something more to it. I don't give a shit what anybody says. How about that? Okay? I know, and beyond my logical reasoning, why would you go somewhere twice? It's like the one question that nobody can answer. Why would you go somewhere twice? Rhythmically, with intent. So there's something more to it, all right? It's not just, hey, I was at Petco, I need an alibi because, you know, I'm an asshole and I'm going to do an asshole thing type thing, and it's way worse than that, but you get my point. So there's something more to it, all right? I also feel that I'm going to try to cinch a lot of things up real quick. I also feel that she had gloves at some point, all right? And I feel like she may have lost one because I'm hearing this now, all right? Also something to do with shoes. And I know it's been mentioned in the group, so I'm not trying to take credit for all that because a lot of people will pipe in and say that. It's not it. There's something more to do with that as far as dirt or something in the bottom of the shoe. And also another thing I'd like to point out is I don't know if I don't do hiking, you know, and not because I wouldn't do it, but we live in seaside type thing. I don't know. Are there specific shoes that you wear hiking that weigh more or are more? You get what I'm saying? I'm not really picking up the word for it, but I'm saying this because I keep flashing to the night it happened and something to do with the shoe that she kicked him with being different than, you know, having on a flip-flop or, you know, a sneaker. So I don't know if there's something to that, like hiking type gear. It comes through as like cleats, but not cleats. And if somebody could answer that, that would help me. Let me pull this up and answer some questions directly about that. And the other thing too is I've seen some of you say things like there's got to be some truth mixed in with the things that she's saying, and I absolutely agree. However, one thing was pointed out that kept sticking out in my mind, that something to do with her saying, you know, they found the body 100 feet from the house or something like that, okay? So, and the person's thought process, this was in one of the groups, the person's thought process was, you know, that maybe he's closer. And instantly I thought, no, that's like a red herring. She's trying to tell you that I wouldn't do it because if I did it, it would be over here in the backyard. It wouldn't be all the way in Douglas County. You see what I'm saying? So I don't get the feeling that it's close, even though I wish it was. The other area that has stuck out to me a little bit as well, in addition to no road, I would be up Spruce Mountain. I would be all up in there. And Castle Rock. And again, that could be me picking up her thought processes as well, which has happened in other cases. But Jimmy Camp Creek, and I said this in the beginning, I'm like, and it's something so far from my mindset and a lot of your mindsets, it being like, not a clue, but a truth sandwich type thing, to her, for her benefit in some way. Anyway, so apparently in the first live, and thanks Heather for pointing this out, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch those. She said I said something about 10 miles out. So I ended up looking about, I think it was 11.6. Anyway, Jimmy Camp Creek goes that far out, and I didn't know that. And I don't know if they checked all of it, and I don't know why. And the other thing too is, could you technically drive on a dry creek bed like that? And I'm not saying that that's what happened, but these are the thoughts that go through my mind as I'm going over things. Let me get to this. The one thing that does boggle my mind a bit is the witness, the coroner. I just can't put my finger on that, because I really do not think that she had anything to do with her daughter's father's death there. So I'm wondering, what the hell could the connection be? Let me get into this here. I'm just going to, so I can keep up the connection. Nothing like hearing myself. All right, let's see. Northeast. Okay, hold on. Yeah, tracks that give you traction over. No, it's not. That's not. It wouldn't be something that went over the shoe. It would be a distinction in shoe. In other words, okay, you have boots, but you have steel toe boots. Do you get what I'm saying? So something like that, but not. I don't know. I don't know what you guys wear to do that. That'd be something. Yeah, and Black Forest. Something that Jane said as well, and an earlier update, I may have gone over it. She said that he's in the forest. So I've been informed that when you live in Black Forest, you do not say to somebody, I live in Black Forest. You say, I live in the forest, or they live in the forest, and everybody knows what you're talking about. She also said that he was behind, all my hair's standing up, behind the fire. And I had I was like, oh boy, is she saying he's in the chimney? My logical mind's jumping in, trying to make sense of all of it. Is he in a fireplace? I started thinking, could she have possibly brought him back in the house and done that? Like, it was crazy. Anyway, maybe a week, 2 weeks ago, somebody messaged me and told me that there was a big, huge fire in Black Forest. And the very first thing I thought about was Bandon Drive, Bandon Ave, that area, it being right near Black Forest, something to do with and this is part of the message that someone sent me, the fire reaching that far across. So all I thought to myself is her saying behind the fire. Do you get what I'm saying? Like the area behind the fire? It just made too much sense. And I can't, it's very difficult, me being here, not knowing the geography, beyond what I can Google. Trust me, I got about 3 apps on my phone, and I check my own map app because I can go 3D to try to put all that together. So this is what I mean about using what you hear from me or another medium as a guideline and a rubric. Kind of like the tools you need along the way in your back pocket. However, pay attention to your own vibes and your own gut feelings about things. That's your best ally. All right. All right. Let's see. No saying. Okay, so if you guys have any questions that are, yeah, Constance Lynette says, the connection with the coroner and her husband's death is their drug use. She had drug issues. And I'm willing to say that you're probably right. However, the facade that she built up, you know what it is? There's so much, this is what she does. She's like a friggin', like a Tasmanian devil and not a good one. You get what I mean? She just everything all up. So by the time the dust settles, you don't even really focus on that point. You see? Let's see. Yeah, and Jane did speak about rainbows and stuff, and there's something about Rainbow Falls, but don't forget that there may be, I had done another case where I was picking up on the perpetrator's thoughts, okay? All these things, in other words, he thought about cutting her up, he thought about doing a bunch of different stuff, and they found all different pieces of evidence pointing in that direction, but ultimately that's not what happened. However, I also said that he was on his way to Florida and something about the number 2, and they caught him on 95 South 2 hours later. So you get my point? Yeah, I know. You all want him to be found. Let's see. All right. Anybody have any questions? Only because I am gonna. Let's see. All right, questions. And let's see if there's anything else I can go over. Oh yeah, it's been nice out too, hasn't it? You guys pay attention to nature, because that's what they're piping in with right now, like birds and stuff. Birds of prey. Okay, because I can hear them. Do you guys have like raptor type birds too? Raptor type birds. I don't know what's coming through like that. It makes it sound big. Let's see, any other question? Yes, it's been nice, and it's gonna be nice. There's someone that reported a house that was, there was someone that reported a house that was normally locked up tight with a garage door open on the day after he was missing. Wait. Okay. But I'm either missing the introductory part of this or, and you guys, I share this to my YouTube channel as well, and they can't see your comment, so I have to read it out loud. Jennifer Lynn Dotson. What do you mean? There was someone that reported a house that was normally locked up tight with the garage door open on the day after he was missing. In what context are you saying this though? In other words, is it a house that's not in use, or what is it? How does it relate? Buzzards? Wait. Owls. Owls too. I just heard owls for the wind, Dawn. No, because it's not warm enough yet, Cece, but it's getting there. Like now. Yes, I do see him being found soon. But when you truly care, it's very, very difficult as a mother, as someone who's experienced extreme grief, to separate that attachment or that emotion for not wanting, not only for yourself but for somebody else, and to apply it here. Okay, very difficult. And I've been trying, trust me, but I want it to have never happened. I wanted him to have been found yesterday. So to me, if something pipes in, let's say, my brother's anniversary, or the fact that the 33 kept popping in, and I did say to myself at one point, I'm like, that would be so crazy if he was found on the same day my brother was found. But it was so early on in February, my logical mind's like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, we're not waiting that long. That's ridiculous. Like, absolutely not. No person, no mother should ever have to. You get what I'm saying? So that weighs in on what I'm picking up. Okay. Let's see. An empty house. Been that way for a very long. Okay, so Stacy Ramirez says the house with the garage partially open was checked. It was an abandoned house, but it has been that way for a very long time before him being missing. Okay, but remember what I said too about remember what I said as well about places that have already been searched, and I'll tell you why. The snow creates more than just, you know, cold. It creates depth in an atmosphere, in an environment. So there's more depth to the landscape. So it's very difficult to eye things out, to look at something and say, oh, look, you know, if so-and-so or if so-and-so were to do something, this is where they would do this. Because now you have an extra level of depth to it. So now that things have melted and returned, how do you say it? Not environmentally, because the light source is different. In other words, the time of day, that type of thing. But the landscape is more so the way it was when she brought him there. The other thing I want to point out, and because I keep seeing the same scene at the end type thing, it's like, it looks to me like if it must be a road and then something that goes like this as well. And I can see him in front of her, all right? And I'm not going to go over more of those details because I think those details are going to come out anyway. However, I wanted to point that out in case it may help when somebody's looking. What other questions? Let's see. I saw that. Mimi Dominguez says, is his body exposed at all? I keep seeing his hair. So I don't know how this frames it because of the video, but I keep seeing, if I'm behind myself, I'm seeing the back of his head like this, okay? And I just keep seeing this little wisp, like, like right here, you know, stick up type thing and blowing in the wind. I can see it. They could have been steel toe. You never know with this mouth. I know from doing readings forever that for some reason, whatever comes out of here is, especially if I'm just going and talking, they have heavy tread. All right, but it makes, and the point of that was, there were 2 points. The first point being, I felt from the very beginning that when she kicked him in the house the night before, that there was something to do with the shoes that made it different. Okay, that's the first thing. And the second thing with a shoe is I see them doing something to do with the dirt in the shoe. Okay, her shoes, like stuck in the shoe. So I don't know if there was a particular type of shoe or whatever it was, but something to do about the dirt. Oh my God, and I'm hearing the song. At the car wash. Oh, so they must want me to talk about the car wash. My friend Heather, who's also a psychic medium, brought up a good point. She said, and she said this before the witness statement came out, she said this before we really knew about the rental. She said that she thought that she had got the rental because she had to take the truck to the car wash to be completely washed out, and it was wet, so she couldn't use it. So when all that stuff came out, I'm like, ding, right again. That struck true for me. So that's another point. Let me see. I just saw 33. It's on this box over here. I swear to God. So the other thing is, she did not know she had her watch on because she's an idiot. Okay. I knew she didn't have the phone on her, and I knew she had the watch, and I can see her freaking out when the thing does something. It dings. I don't know if it catches a tower or it does something, because everybody's like, no, if your phone's at home, then it can't do it. Oh, yes, the hell it can. You want to make a bet? Like when you're on a plane sometimes and you catch that one little bar, bloop, and everything ding, 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 like that. What else? I can't think of anything else off the top of my head right now, but let's see if there's any questions. So Amy is asking me, are you alluding to a push off of something? And yes, I was just going to ask about the car wash. I thought it looked like water was coming out of the bed of the truck when she backed in the driveway. Wait a minute. No, and I don't think it's highly probable she pushed him off something, because it's not controlled enough for her. Do you get what I'm saying? Suppose she pushed him off and he's one of the, I'm sorry if any of the family sees any of this, but, she pushes him off and he survives, or somebody comes and finds him and then he survives, and then you see what I mean? So, and I toy around. In other words, if I pick up that she strangled him, okay? But I still will entertain other avenues in my mind, and I can energetically weigh them out, because I'm a logical, reasonable person. So it makes no sense for me to think that I'm the only, guru on how it can happen. So I take these bits and pieces of information and I feel around, energetically speaking, and I can feel the probability of it. So the probability of her pushing him off something, even though it went through her mind, so it makes sense that a lot of people pick that up. It's not controlled enough for her. In other words, she set out to do this. She was going to do this. Okay. She made a bunch of stupid mistakes along the way, and I don't even like referring to like that, because I feel like it gives it justification in some way, but I mean the terminology. But it had to be, she had to be sure. You get what I mean? Or it defeated the whole purpose of it. Let's see. Yeah, so James Pace says you can pay for a separate different plan just for your Apple Watch, so it doesn't need Wi-Fi. No, yeah, I get that, but it's like, I don't know what you guys have up there, but over here I have, what do I have? Xfinity, Comcast. So we have hotspots, right? So I have an app on my phone, and I don't know how it works for the iWatch as far as settings, because my mother has one. She's in her 70s. I'm not messing with that thing. Anyway, it's probably one more thing that I could probably crack the screen on. So I have it so it's automatic login. So when I'm driving, if I'm in an area where there's Xfinity, it just picks it right up, boop, boop, boop. I could be driving through something and pick it up for a split second, and then, you see what I'm saying? So it doesn't have to be a steady thing, but it only needs that one little thread for it to connect like that. Alicia Brooks said, I reckon she had help. Nope. And when I go like that, that means that's like DNA, like no, and no, she did not. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying for me, energetically, that's how it feels. Like, feels like like a straight jacket. Like I can't get out of that one. Nope. Tammy Pewterball. I don't want to screw your last name up, Tammy, so I'm just going to say Tammy. Tammy, she said poisoned, kicked, hit, then strangled where she left him. I don't get the poison feeling. The only thing, that I can say is that for the duration of this case, and not so much in the last week or so, there were many mornings that I woke up feeling like I was detoxing off something. So I don't know if it's a her thing or picking up that they're going to pick up her stuff. I don't exactly know what that is, but I feel like if she gave him something, it would be like something to calm him down so he doesn't scream and that type of thing. That's what it feels like. I also think that he knew she was acting funny. And I can hear him asking her, did my dad call yet? Did my dad call yet? So I feel like, and I think I said this to Heather, and sometimes I've got to, I don't like to pull back from it. So, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. Like, I'd rather screenshot the conversation, post it on my page, and have a way with it. But he said, did my dad call yet? Because I think she told him, the conversation feels like he said, I want to talk to my dad, and I don't know if she said to him, I called him, but he's at work, and he can't answer the phone right now, or something like that, okay? Or no, we'll call him, I'll text him and tell him. Oh, I can hear her, oh God, yeah. I'll text him and tell him, and he'll call you after. Because I feel like when he woke up in the truck, he said, did my dad call yet? And she said, no, but it's weird, the silence, the feeling of the silence, no. And whatever it is, I don't know, and that would have to be a question that his dad would answer, like it was too long. Like if my dad knows I'm sick this long, no, too long. Type thing. Like he would never not do that, and I can feel my heart racing right now, like it's getting nervous, like what the hell is going on, even though it's awful to think, but he was used to his heart racing around her because she's a nutcase. So he didn't really know because I feel like usually her fits of rage were fits of rage. Like, this was calculated. And I'm not saying planned, premeditated like that. There's a premeditation aspect to it because there's a premeditation aspect to it after the initial rage fit. However, when they get out of the truck, it's just eerily silent, which makes him a little nervous, but not so nervous because the pattern for her is just flipping the fuck out. Okay, and doing crazy shit and him not knowing. All right. I think, they said there's a murder scene. So remember what I just said about it's like that, and then there's an open space like this, but there's like trees, and then but there might be a cliff, and you know what it looks like? It looks like, oh my God, I don't even really watch TV, but something about the movie Twilight when they come out into this open like area type thing. But I feel like there might be like it looks like there might be a decline. You know how you can see through the trees and you can tell by the lighting source? I think that it happened there. And I think, I know she strangled him and she dragged him that way, this way, this way. So, in other words, if there's a dirt road and there's like this circle thing, he goes to the end of the circle, like to look out type thing, and she comes up behind him and ends up going this way, pulling him this way. I think that she covered him initially with brush. And then went back. But I don't think she moved him. That's why I just don't understand why they're not finding him. I really think it had a lot to do with the weather and things like that. And also the frantic search and the mayhem that ensued. And Red Barn, the red does, but there's so, see, this is the thing. It gets so overwhelming because it's an area I don't know. In other words, you know, I worked a case where I knew exactly, I could tell them, I'm like, oh, he's near Bumps Pond. Nope, they searched there already. That's what they told me. And she hit me up, but she's like, you were right. That's where he was. But I know the area. Do you see what I'm saying? I saw the train tracks, and I saw the train tracks, I saw the pond. You know what I mean? I know that storefront. So I went right there. It's very difficult to not know the area and put those things together. And again, I'm still waiting on my Powerball ticket so that when we have cases like this, I can fly out there myself. And I'm telling you, that's exactly what's going to happen. Take it right off and not waste any time. Okay. What do you feel about the blood spatter witness? Do you feel like that happened in the initial incident in the house? Yes. Yes, I do. Oh, Heather, you're supposed to remind me of these things. The day after, there was one day when I wrote a post and I asked Gannon, you know, to show me what we see now, and it was the thing about the McDonald's line at 11:46. All right. So a few days after that, because I always fall asleep. I have great intentions, believe it. I'm telling you, and I always get a little bit of information, and then I'm like, oh my God, it's 5 o'clock type thing. The blood came from his head. Okay? The blood came from his head. He hit his head on something. In the initial first video, I think Heather just told me I said a desk. And that makes sense because I didn't even think of that when I tuned in the night I'm speaking about now. So, and I'm trying to pull back, which it never really works that well for me. So give me a second. So the gist of it was he did something and she came at him, okay? And did, you know, from the video before, I won't go back through it again, but the kicking and the attacking type thing. And he hit his head off of something, and that's where the blood was. And then he ran from her into the garage, out the door, towards the fence. He said, I think they have footage of that. I hate to say it, but did you get to the door? Did you get to the fence? Yeah, but she met me there. You know how when you hit the back of a fence, it moves a little bit, there's a little give to it, and you can hear the lock. I'm not doing it right. You know what it jiggles a little bit, like when you lean on it. He got about that far, and she's right behind him. What the fuck is wrong with you? I wonder if I'm pretty sure they have it on video. They have the audio. This is the feeling I'm getting. All right. All right, you guys, any other questions that you have? Let's see. The blood spatter. I'm pretty sure that was the house. Okay. Heather, oops, I'm way behind. I gotta scroll down. Cindy Albertson, I'm not sure about that because it makes my head spin, the whole thing. In other words, for me right now, it's easier for me to give you the key points of what I pick up, okay? And that being that there was an incident, and you know, it may be because this friggin' lady, she bugs out over nothing, all right? This poor kid. There was an incident. She said, what the fuck is wrong with you? She came at him. Oh, she got him on the head first. Yeah, all right. She came at him. She basically beat his head. Somehow he cut himself. She's kicking him. He gets up. He runs. He was downstairs, through the house, into the garage, and makes it out to the gate. Oh, he said she tripped in the garage. She tripped on something. Good enough. Yes, we're getting closer. Yes, Harley knows stuff, but she's not. Oh, the vanity. That's right. By the way, remember when there was a photo in the groups of what they were taking out of the house? I showed it to Jane, and this kid, I don't even know how the hell she knows stuff like this. Like, you're 3. Well, I mean, granted, she's almost 4, but still. I showed it to her. I said, what is this? She said, a vanity. And it made me think, like, did they take the top of the sink for fluids or something? That's what it made me think of. Or he could have hit his head on the vanity. I don't know how that house is set up. But to me, it looked like a desk, but I suppose it could look like a vanity. We'll have to see. No. No, I don't think so. Amy says, the garage and the 2x4, that's where that came from. While my thoughts of blood spatter made me think cough, like coughing up blood at a sink, maybe. Yeah, I was thinking more of washing things down the sink. Even though somebody who's into true crime and all that else, I don't know. I just, okay. So that's why she made a story about him checking to see if the gate was off. Yeah, of course. That's what, of course. Yeah. Because that same night that he got a cut and dripped it all over the place. However, it's friggin' Colorado in the middle of the winter, but I'm changing the kid's Band-Aid out on the car. And then how did he get his foot cut? Was he wearing flip-flops? Were you planning on going to Hawaii? Like, these are things that go through my mind. You know? It makes no sense to me. And if not, then how come there's no sneaker with a hole in it? I don't know. Because if he had a sneaker on or a boot or a shoe, she wouldn't be saying his foot. She'd be saying his ankle or his leg. So it doesn't make sense. Let's see. Yeah, exactly, Mary Beth. Mary Beth says a vanity can also be a makeup vanity, looks like a desk. Yeah, exactly my point. Let's see. I keep getting the feeling she's going to try to take her own life while she's locked up. Yeah, well, she can try, but let's see. It was confirmed Al never said anything to her about the sock on the 2x4. That's true. I saw that. Left side of head. Yeah. Did he fall in the shower? No. Thank you. I was calling. All right, let's see. All right, I don't want to make this too long. Let's see. A lot of us do wear flip-flops in Colorado year-round. I'm all for it. But a kid? A boy? I don't know. Maybe it could be. You could be right. You could be right there. Let's see. The latex gloves by the road. I don't know. I know that my stepson has underwear that looks just like that underwear that was with those gloves. And I'm telling you, she spreads stuff around the countryside. I'm pretty sure she did. So I'm not saying it is or it isn't at this point. You got the feeling, so there was, it's going by quickly, but someone got the feeling that she kept looking out of the window at Petco because she was checking the place that she left him because you could see him, to see if you could see him, which is that's a valid point and could very well be true. However, I get the, oh look, 33 likes. Look at that. Heather, are you here, Heather? It's me, Melvin. Just kidding. But 33 likes and 202 comments. I get that she was looking out the window because her phone pinged, and she's an asshole, and thought she was being, you know, a cool cucumber or whatever, and left her phone at home. Also, she shut cameras off at the house. So I just picked that up too. God, the back of my head hurts right here. Jesus. Every time I do that, read about that part of it, my head hurts. Let's see. Any other questions? What did he drop out of the truck? I want to say it was like a hat or a piece of clothing of some kind. It wasn't his. Taryn Schaefer said, my son wears flip-flops year-round, even in winter. So see, this is why logic still needs to play a key role in intuitive reasoning, okay? Because that's a valid point. I always, and I urge you guys to do the same. I always look for the logical answer first because it makes sense given our physicality, okay? And then you not dwindle, but drill down to what's left after, if that makes sense, okay? Yeah, the only thing to see from the Petco window is the parking lot, okay. Yes, he was conscious when he was in the truck. He fell asleep, but he was conscious. Let's see. But again, so if I haven't said this, because I want to wrap this up. The only other area that I picked up, I mean, it's crazy because not being from there and wanting so badly to do what I normally do when I know areas and things like that. And again, I usually don't try not to get emotionally invested into cases because it's not because I don't care, it's because I care so much that this is the type of stuff that happens and dishes go undone and kids don't have, you know, clean underwear. Oh God, I'm not kidding. I think we've all been there. But hold on, what does it say? Yeah, so the other areas that Jimmy Camp Creek, that's way out 10 miles, like near DOGE Ave, like all up in that area. You know, I would be all up. I would have checked the whole thing of Jimmy Camp Creek just because of what she said. All right, and that's been a floating thought in my mind. And again, it may be me picking up her thought processes. However, at this point, everything's worth checking out. Let's see. It could have been a flip-flop. Well, yeah, it could have been. And sometimes I say things like that. I'm still on no road. I still would love to. Oh, I wish I could get out there. I feel like he's in something still. All right. So I can just see his hair So I can see the back of his head. And I don't see snow there right now. I see something like grayish. So I don't know if he's in, let me see. Let me ask him. Oh, I'm hearing something about a bridge, and this isn't the first time. So I don't know if it's an overpass, a bridge, or something that's overhead. But I would check every goddamn overpass, underpass type thing. Like, get up in there. Everybody's got a flashlight on the phone. Like, flash that baby in. If something looks out of place or odd, move it. Check it out. And she especially rocks. Okay? Piles of rocks. Move them. That type of thing. And again, pay attention to animals and bears again. I don't know what the hell about that, man. And Jane said something about it the other day too. About a bear. So, ooh, sounds weird. Every time I catch one of your lives, I keep seeing and hearing near a large concrete drainage culvert coming out of a steep incline. Yes, I know, because my eyes get attracted to certain, I notice patterns even within myself. And when I'm on these maps, and trust me, I'm on them suckers all the time. My boyfriend's like, what's wrong with you? I'll be seeing in the kitchen like this. Opening it all over the place. Then I go street view, 3D, I'm on Google Earth. It's awful. But those places stick out to me a lot. All right? A lot. Yeah, but don't listen to what I'm saying. Take what I'm telling you as separate bits of information. And I'm telling you this from experience for me. It fits better that way. They have an agenda that's like a mosaic. We're over here in third density trying to put puzzle pieces together. You know, we're building found around and we have to find the, that's how we're doing it. They literally build a mosaic. You ever see the people that do the sand art on America's Got Talent, and you always like, what are you doing, dude? Like, what kind of mess are you making? And then at the end, you're like, oh, bravo, oh my goodness, you're a genius. That's what it feels like, okay? So I just have to allow it. And this is out of experience, not out of some, some crazy enlightenment type class I took. No, it's from experience, and I kind of go with the flow now, all right? So again, my point is to take those pieces as separate bits of information, okay? Kind of like when Dora the Explorer goes exploring and she picks up things along the way. You see what I'm saying? It's not a direct, it just clues, and then use your own intuitive reasoning, follow your own gut, and that's your best bet. I have a funny feeling they already knew about that. Danielle Goodwin said, will they be investigating to find that leech at Petco? I have that weird, how you feel bad when you see somebody get in trouble, and not because I just caught the 5333. And not because I feel bad for her at all, but that's just my way of translating it into the situation. So, in other words, that feeling of, oh, you got caught. Like, ooh, they're going to see you on video, and everybody in the country's going to know, woohoo, type of thing. So then driving by seniors. Yes, you're right. There are. So Alyssa Hurd says there was a video around the third or fourth week of them searching near highway. She said 103, but she meant 105 because I know what you're talking about. And they had many people driving by where they were in the snow with all the evidence flags. And it mentions cameras and the traffic signs that may have caught something. There were cameras there. If you guys do your research, there are also cameras at 83 and 105. There were 2 traffic cameras there. That type of stuff. And if we could, they have these reverse phone number things here. They just called about, about the school thing. So it was, I think, whoever runs a municipality or town hall, whatever, selectmen. Anyway, why can't they do a reverse phone call to everybody in Douglas County and El Paso County being like, listen, between the hours of everybody check their ring camera, you have dash cameras, you have this, that, or the other. Boom, 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 boom. Do you get what I'm saying? And then everybody checks, and definitely there's more out there, is what I'm saying. I feel like he's somewhere that they already searched. I keep saying it, and I think they know that. I think they know that. And I think they were thrown off the trail. Too many different directions. Too many different directions. I don't know if she knew she was doing that, but just too many different directions. So she must, like I said, the spreading of that evidence, maybe she did that on purpose. Okay. He's only, so I feel like he's 500 feet from wherever this murder scene is. And without them telling me, I can't really tell you guys. So if anybody else was out there, you don't have to tell me, because I don't need to know or want to know. And it doesn't about being right. 500 feet. To the left, there's an incline. To the left, there's an incline, they said. There's like a dry spot underneath it. Dry spot underneath trees. So it looks like you can go around it. She packed him in there? Oh. You guys, so look for drainage pipes and things that look like that have rocks in it. All right? You get what I'm saying? Even if you think that it couldn't be like that, just look. All right? And there's a lot of that type of stuff around there too. So just make sure that's what I would do at this point. So if anybody is in the know about that, about wherever they think this happened, and hopefully it matches up with what I told you I saw. And again, it doesn't mean I'm, the authority on that, but that I've seen that consistently. It looks like I don't know if it looks wider than a dirt road. So it's not like a dirt road that goes to like somebody's house. It's like it reminds me of the old country roads that you see in like those movies. What was that one? With Queen Latifah about the bees. You guys remember what I'm talking about? And I wouldn't be saying bees for no reason, so pay attention. That type of road with the stuff in the middle, like that, it's just wide enough that like two cars can one can pull over a little bit and go, but it's not skinny enough to be considered like the driveway kind of dirt roads, that type of thing. And it's got something at the end that looks like it's round, but it's not like a cul-de-sac. It's like, I don't know. Almost if the road were to end, but there's some area that looks like it's open. Okay. There's something like that. She put him in something like a pipe or something that looks gray to me. And I just got that now about the rocks. There's rocks. I would check Jimmy Camp Creek. I would be all up and down that piece. You see how long it is? You see what I'm saying? So, because again, logic and reason says that she hasn't been around there that long. So it's not like she knows the area like the back of her hand, you know? Like she was, you know, partying in the woods at 16 and she knows all the spots. So there's got to be some degree of rationality as far as our thinking process goes, all right? In that respect. So Amy says, so it's an isolated area. How did you hide him in broad daylight? Because people like us aren't thinking that there's people killing kids and hiding them in broad daylight. So you see what I'm saying? Like we're more likely to be like, oh, look, that kind of looks sketchy as far as like maybe like a kidnap or anything like that. But this, it doesn't even, like, we wouldn't even really think about it, you know? Unless it was some off the wall type thing. Yeah, I can see his hair. I told you I can see the top of his hair, and I can see it blowing right here. Just a little bit. All right, guys. I am going to end this now. I didn't even want it to be this long, and not because I don't absolutely adore this kid more than any of you will ever understand, but because it's late and these kids have no school, and do you feel like she had me? No, it was not planned before Sunday. She snapped and then planned. So either way, she's going down for murder one. Do you get a police call? No. All right, guys. Do you think the cops went to Petco and got the dog leash? Oh wait, didn't I already answer that? I don't know if they got it. I just get that they know, if that makes sense. So I don't know how they went through that, and I really don't. My brain is spent. Yes, he was still conscious in the truck. Okay, I think we're going back through these. All right, bye guys. And I'm really, really, really betting on today, St. Patrick's Day, my brother's anniversary, because why not? All right, guys, have a great night, okay? Thanks.